What's up, everybody? I am not sure what's true or false in this video. This is a gossip video, just like on a gossip blog website. So I take rumor and tea and gossip from online, from magazines, from books, from wherever I can find it, and I ball it up and I tell you guys a story. Now, let's get to the video. Woo! Cha! Y'all see this smile on my face? That's right, honey. Bright Cellars then deliver my wine, baby. Bright Cellars is a monthly wine club that matches you to wines from all over the world, curated to your palate. They so serious, they make you take a quiz on your dang on taste buds. But baby, it's okay, because it's just to ensure that you get the correct wine for you. After they select your matches, they ship them right to your door. Let me show you the wines I got this month.
Wellfleet, Silverscape, and Obscura. If you think the delivery is something, this next thing is about to trip y'all absolutely out. They put little wine education cards in the box, and they suggest pairings, give you details about what's in the wine, even tells you at what room temperature to store your wine. Bright Cellars got it going on. You are not gonna find nothing like that at no doggone grocery store. And you're definitely not gonna find the Says So Squad Scandalites discount. Baby, 50% off of your first 6-bottle box of wine. That is $55 plus tax for 6 bottles of wine. All you gotta do is click my personal link in the description, honey. So y'all stop wasting time. Go ahead and click the link below and take the quiz. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, sister, go, souls, hey, sister, go, he met Mama La down in old New Orleans, strutting her stuff on the street. She said, hello, hey, Joe, you want to give it a go? Yeah, itchy, itchy, yeah, yeah, da, da, da. Itchy, itchy, yeah, yeah, yeah. Toka, toka, la, yeah. Real lady mama line. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? See, Auntie Patty, I did an intro for your video. I went all out. I put on a wig and everything. Is you still gonna cuss me out? Well, doggone it, Auntie Patty. I'm just here to relay the news, doggone it. And then Scandalites and Says So Squad, y'all so messy and so iffy, sitting up there in the comments talking about, talking about, baby, Auntie Patty is finna cuss you out and whoop your tail, honey. And I'm finna be watching with popcorn. Well, baby, guess what? Eat your popcorn up now, honey, because I'm snitching on all of y'all. Because if Patty come and knock me out, baby, she gonna come knock y'all out too. Now, let's get to the scandalous, messy tea of the magnificent voice that truly nobody can match, Miss Patti Labelle. Let's get to it. Patricia Louise Holt was born on May the 24th, 1944 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Her mother's name was Bertha, and she worked as a domestic, and her father's name was Henry, and he worked on the railroad. Along with Patty, Henry and Bertha had 4 more children, and their names were Thomas, Vivian, Barbara, and Jacqueline. And here is something that has always been so strange to me. I don't know if y'all knew this or not, but not one of Patty's sisters made it to the age of 50 years old. In fact, I don't think any one of them lived past the age of 44. It is said that 2 of them passed away with cancer and 1 of them passed away with diabetes. And I just kind of wanted to sprinkle this in here because it's just always stuck with me that her sisters passed away so young. In fact, it is said that it has stuck with Patty as well, because they say she has some sort of survivor's guilt for the fact that she's been able to live so long, but her sisters passed away so soon. Now, her brother Thomas, if I'm not mistaken, is still very alive and kicking and well. Now, to move along with the story, it is actually said that when Patty was younger, her family called her Patsy. But of course, I'm going to continue to call her Patty. I just wanted to let you know that. And regarding Patty's childhood, it was not unhappy, but it was not super happy either. Most people say that the only thing that really brought Patty true happiness when she was a child was when she was able to sing in the church. And when she first started singing, she was singing with the regular choir. She was singing in the background. And then the choir director heard her voice and was like, no ma'am, you need to move up to the front and carry this choir because you got the best voice. And Patti was like, no, I don't want to do that. And the choir director was like, it ain't about what you want, sis. I said move to the front. Like, you have to let that voice out. So Patti ended up doing that. She ended up singing a solo, and honey, she brought the whole church to its feet, baby. They were just filled with praise, and Patti herself was filled with pride. And so ever since then, she would just go to church and she would just let loose, and that is where she found her happy place. And the reason she had to find a happy place at church is because her parents argued a lot, and then her father started to become abusive. And even though he was not hitting on the children, Patti and her brothers and sisters, it was still a lot to hear her parents argue and to see her father hit on her mother. And then on top of him being abusive, I do believe he was also stepping outside of their marriage. And then all of this behavior just started to really take a toll on Bertha, and so she and Henry ended up getting a divorce. And I think Patti was only around like 10 or 11 at this time. Now, word on the street is that Patti seemed to have taken this divorce in stride. It doesn't seem like she had any breakdowns or anything like that. She kind of just tried to look on the bright side, but this was not easy to do. Let me sprinkle a little bit of scandal, a little bit of tea in here, honey. When Bertha moved into another home with her children, there was a certain family friend that used to come around, and this certain family friend ended up being a perverted pedophile. And yes, this person sexually molested Patti, and I believe she was only around 12 at this time. Now, Patti is said to have suffered with this for years, but she does not let it break her spirit now, and she did not let it break her spirit then. She forged ahead and simply looked for better days. And as I've stated before, those better days came from the church. Those better days came from singing. So Patti made up her mind at an early age that she wanted to be a singer. She had this in her spirit, in her soul, in her mind. It was with this spirit in her heart and in her mind that Patti started to prepare for her future. So she started to sing in talent shows. She also started to sing with her elder sister Barbara. Actually, they formed a group together, I think along with 2 more girls. And another thing Patti was working on was getting more exposure and getting more practice. Now, Patti's original plan of becoming a singer while in a group with her sister just simply did not work. And it is said the reason is because Patti and Barbara wanted to both be the leaders of the group. You know what I'm saying? They had different directions, different visions, and so it said that they were always fighting each other, and so the group just fell apart. Now, I don't know if Barbara continued to pursue her singing career after this group broke up, but I do know that Patti did. In fact, she started to enter these talent competitions by herself, and she did one talent competition while she was still in high school, and Patti got up there and she sang just like she was singing at church, honey. She rocked the competition and she won. And of course, the popularity from this talent show made Patti Labelle the premier girl to be around if you wanted to get into singing, if you wanted to get into entertainment. So before you know it, other girls who felt like they had singing talent started to connect with Patti, and she came up with another group. This group was called the Ordettes, and it was Patti and 3 other girls from her high school. And honey, let me tell you something. It is said that the Ordettes were dang good, but that was because they had Patti Labelle as their lead singer. And this is not to put down the other girls that she was singing with, but let's just be honest, Patti Labelle was the voice, and they knew it. Not only them, everybody around town knew it. I mean, this girl had a voice that could shatter glass. The registers that she could hit were unfreaking believable. And simply put, when people heard her, they would be in awe, because if you think about it, nobody was sounding like Patti Labelle. When you think about the Supremes or the Chilees or Martha and the Vandellas, they all had voices that really were the 50s and 60s sound. You know what I'm saying? Like, they sound like they should be singing back then. Patti did not belong in that category. Patti's voice was well ahead of its time. Patti sings like singers that came in the late 80s, early 90s. You know what I mean? She's in that vocal range with Whitney Houston, in that vocal range with Kelly Price, those type of singers. That's the kind of voice that Patti Labelle has. Kiki Wyatt, people like that. And let's just be honest, those type of voices blow people like the Supremes and the Chilees and all of them out of the water. So like I said, Patti was in possession of this voice in that time period, and really she was a standout queen. And so the Ordettes were boss, honey. You hear me? They were rocking and rolling and picking up local fame like it wasn't nothing. And it truly seems like if they would have kept it up, those girls definitely would have went somewhere. But things started falling apart. For one, everybody wasn't all the way on board. There was this one member who thought she was flossing, honey. She is a part of the biggest and baddest local girl group, you know what I'm saying? She on stage singing all the songs. They know all the new dances, all the jigging and juking. But baby, somebody went and told her daddy, oh, I love the way your daughter was dancing last night. The Ordettes were getting down. I love that. Baby, her daddy was like, who daughter? And child, that was the end for that member because her father was a pastor. And baby, he wasn't signed up for his daughter to be up there showing some leg, throwing them hips from side to side. He told her to come on out. And so she had to leave the Ordettes. And then after that member left, 2 other members left because they thought getting married and having a family was more important than their singing career. And so after this, the Ordettes ended up being the Ordette. And that was only one, Miss Patti Labelle. However, Patti did not fret. She did not worry, honey. And really, there was no reason for her to fret because, again, she was a premier singer at this time. So she was able to snatch up other group members just like that. And she did end up finding 3 new girls to replace the last 3. And these girls' names were Cindy Birdsong, Nona Hendrick, and Sarah Dash. Now with 3 new members, the Ordettes are back on their feet and with more pizzazz than ever. These girls were serious about their careers and there was no religion and no boyfriends or husbands or anything that were going to take them away from their dreams. They were ready to see where their talent was going to carry them. And so soon they made contact with someone who put them in contact with a local car dealer named Harold Robinson, but he also owned a record label. Patti and the girls show up at the audition and they are ready to sing, and before Patti can say, ah, Harold shuts them down. Child, the folks say Harold was like, I was gonna call you Patti Labelle, but now I'm finna call you Patti LaHale. No, I'm not signing you. You too dark. You too ugly. Baby said Harold was going off. And he was basically saying that he was not going to invest in them or even record them because he didn't feel like he was going to be able to sell Patti Labelle because her looks were so bad. But Harold, so I know you lying because Patti Labelle ain't never been ugly. And then the bad thing about it is folks be telling me that I favor or remind them of Patti Labelle. So baby, I know you ain't calling me ugly, Harold. So anyway, per the rumor, Harold is like, no, I'm not signing this chick. You know, they can go on. But whoever that middleman was got in Harold's ear and was like, hey, listen, dude, just listen to her sing. Listen to her sing, and that's all you need to do. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to sign them after that, that's fine. But give these girls a chance and listen to them sing. And Patti gets out there, and honey, she gives it to him, baby. Patti blows down the house. And honey, you know, as soon as she was finished, she go, Harold, girls, come on down, sign on the dotted line. You know, Patti was sitting up there mad about it, but she went ahead and signed because there was nobody else offering her a record deal. And so it's said that after they did sign, Harold changed their names from the Ordettes to the Bluebells, and he also gave Patti the last show name of LaBelle. But it was soon established that Patti would be their one and only lead singer. There was not going to be any mixing, any switching, so that is when they proceeded to call the group Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells. And now that they had their official moniker, the group set to work. And in no time, they had their first hit single called Down the Aisle, and that came out in 1963. And after that, there came the song Danny Boy, and then they recorded others, and Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells were really standing strong. And then, honey, some scandalous mess happened, child, and that is when Berry Gordy and Miss Diana Ross came calling for Cindy Birdsong. And of course, y'all already knew that Cindy Birdsong replaced Florence Ballard, but baby, they said it was some messy tea with the way it went down. So Cindy first met the Supremes back in 1963, and this is when Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells did an opening for the Supremes. And per the rumors on the streets, it's claimed that these two groups didn't get along from the start. There was a lot of tension there, there was a lot of jealousies there, and really it's because Diana, Florence, and Mary walked around like they didn't stink. They were the big dogs. That was the big girl group, you know what I mean? Who are the Bluebells? And of course, the Bluebells did not like that because they felt like, sis, we can sing too. But then the Supremes was like, yeah, but who's listening? You know what I'm saying? So like I said, it was a mess from the start, and there was a lot of little whispers, people talking about each other behind their back, stuff like that. So it was really simple stuff at first, but then Diana Ross did something that made the problem really big and blow out of proportion. And that is when she pulled the same move that she pulled on Martha Reeves and the Vandellas. And that move is the fact that while Patti LaBelle and the Bluebells were on tour with the Supremes, Diana Ross was studying their group, and she saw what they were going going to wear that night to perform. Well, allegedly, once Diana saw what the Bluebells were going to wear on stage, she took Florence and Mary and they all went to the store, whatever clothing store they were at, and they picked out the exact same outfits that the Bluebells were supposed to wear. Well, the problem was that the Supremes would go on stage before the Bluebells, and then the Bluebells had to come after them, and of course they were humiliated, they were embarrassed because it looked like they were trying to copy the Supremes. Now, like I said, apparently Diana Ross was known for doing this, or this was a little trick she pulled with several groups, because again, she supposedly did it to Martha and the Vandellas. And I guess Diana Ross liked drama or something. She liked to put her little skinny tail in the mix where people would want to beat her up, because they said Martha and the Vandellas came and chased her down the hallway and tried to beat her up, and also said that Patti Labelle wanted to beat her up when Diana did that to her. Baby, the folks say Patti Labelle was livid, honey, and she could have punched a hole through the wall or through Diana's face. And I didn't read anywhere where they actually fought, but I did hear that Patti did go and find Diana and she gave her a piece of her mind. And apparently the whole time that she was talking, Diana was expecting a punch. Like she was expecting to get slapped or knocked out, because it said that she was standing there like shaking like a leaf. But the thing is sis, if you scary or gonna be scared to get beat up, why are you doing this? So I wanted to give you the background of the history between the groups, the Supremes and the Bluebells, before Cindy Birdsong left. So this is how the atmosphere was. There was tension between the groups. So of course, since there was this type of tension, I imagine that the Bluebells are always talking about the Supremes, and Cindy probably right there in it, she telling Patti, girl, I wish you would have mollywopped Diana little tail. I can't believe she done all that. Who she thinks she is? I'm pretty sure they high-fiving each other, you know what I mean? Patti sitting up there like, yeah, you know, I decided not to touch her, you know, just all that kind of stuff. So everything is good, and then the Bluebells have a show. Patti is there, Nona is there, Sarah is there, everybody is just waiting on Cindy to show up. But they're not really stressing at first. Maybe Cindy is just running late. Well, then time gets to passing and passing and passing. There is no Cindy. So the Bluebells have to perform without Cindy. Well, child, come to find out, either earlier that day or the day before that, Berry Gordy had sent a representative down here to talk to Cindy. And that representative basically told Cindy, hey, Berry and Diana want you to be a part of the Supremes. They want you to replace Florence Ballard. And so Cindy is like, well, yeah, I'm kind of interested, but I'm already a part of the group, the Bluebells. And the representative was like, Mr. Gordy don't care about none of that. Mr. Gordy said you can come now or you won't be getting the position at all. And so Cindy forgot all about that mollywopping Diana Ross and all that kind of stuff. Baby, she took her little behind and jumped on that plane so doggone quick and flew out to Vegas to join the Supreme. And per the rumor, that is where she was on that night when Patti and the rest of the girls were on stage waiting for Cindy to show up. Baby, Cindy was in Las Vegas on the stage with the Supremes, honey. She had officially left Patti Labelle and the Bluebells, and she was now an official Supreme. And so essentially with this happening like this, it was kind of like Berry Gordy just came in like a thief in the night, child, and took Cindy away from Patti Labelle and had Patti them sitting up there looking stupid. And once Cindy was gone, it is said that there was some anger amongst the Bluebells, but it's said that over time they figured that they were better as a trio anyway, and they did not need a fourth girl, and so that's what they did. They became a trio. And so Patti, Sarah, and Nona were very happy with their decision, but I tell you somebody who wasn't happy. That was the record company. They felt like Patti Labelle and the Bluebells were not selling the way they should, so Atlantic Records, who they were signed to at that time, ended up dropping them. But it wasn't all bad, because soon the girls were re-signed by Vicky Wickham, and she gave them a full-blown makeover. She took away their goody two-shoes look, and she took away their prissy little songs. She also took away their cutesy little name, the Bluebells. Nuh-uh, honey. That was too honey and cream. That was too buttermilk. They were bad girls now. They looked like bad girls. They walked like bad girls. They smelled like bad girls. They were Labelle, honey. You couldn't touch these girls, baby. You couldn't even get next to them, honey. They were on fire. And they recorded a ton of good music, a whole lot, child. But baby, it was when they recorded that Lady Marmalade that the roof blew off the spot, honey. That song was a hit. And it was with that song that Labelle made it on the scene. They had arrived, baby. And so now it's time to get to some of the most scandalous gossip, the messiest rumors out here on Miss Patti Labelle. Let's get to it. Now, this first rumor is actually really kind of sad. Child, it is said that Patti Labelle, when she was a young child, really thought that she was ugly. Like, she believed that she was just an ugly little black girl and nobody would like her. She just felt like she wouldn't be accepted. She stayed in the house so much that it is said that her mother used to have to pay this child in order for her to go out and try to mix with the other little kids. That's just how much, she didn't have any self-confidence. Now, this next rumor is a bit more messy, honey, and this is also about when the time Patti was a child. In fact, it's about the time that she was sexually molested. Baby, the folks on the street said that wasn't no doggone family friend. That was her mama's friend. In fact, it was her mother's live-in boyfriend who supposedly molested Patti Labelle. Now listen to this rumor, child, and this is the rumor that got me scared, honey, because it is claimed that Patti Labelle is a head buster, baby. I'm talking about like she'll knock a hater out. She a head buster, like a for real head buster. And not only her, it is said that she, Nona, and Sarah were big time head busters. Baby, they said that while those girls were still younger, like while they were still the Bluebells, that almost everywhere they went, they got to fight. Those girls from Philly was whooping everybody tail, child. And it said that after they would perform and when they left, they would always leave somebody behind with a black eye or somebody bust upside the head. And if that rumor is true, then Diana Ross better be sure enough glad and thanking her lucky stars that Patti Labelle didn't lay her out. But it's also said that that is not the only beef that Patti Labelle and Diana Ross has had. The folks say that Diana Ross has had her mouth on Patti Labelle for years, baby. Been saying all kind of stuff behind Patti Labelle back. And word on the streets is that she does so much talking, but when she sees Patti Labelle face to face or when they're in the same vicinity, like Diana Ross will hurry up and get to the other side, honey, doing anything to run away from Patti Labelle. Now, since all of those episodes have happened with Diana Ross, it is said that she and Patti Labelle have buried the hatchet, but who's to say how long the hatchet will stay buried? And since we are talking about Patti Labelle throwing hands and being able to fight, this is why a lot of people believe that rumor that she jumped on Aretha Franklin that time. Y'all remember where they were performing for the president and Aretha was the one performing. She was walking through with that fur coat on and Patti tried to like shake her hand to touch her or something, baby. And Aretha did that slide to the side like she ain't had no time for Patti. Well, after that happened, websites start to put out this article that said that Patti LaBelle saw Aretha Franklin after the show and that Patti was like, oh, so you thought I was gonna let that slide? Before Aretha could answer, honey, Patti came up out that wig, said she pulled her earrings off, and she came through and hit her with the 1-2 combo and knocked Aretha out cold. Now, of course, after people started digging, they found out that this was fake, but it was easy for people to believe that for a long time because, like I said, the rumors on the streets is that Patti LaBelle been knocking heads between dryers, baby. Now the tea finna get a little bit messy. Honey, it's a couple of backup singers, or let me say ex-backup singers out here that have said that Miss Patti LaBelle is a fall-down drunk. Child, they say you put whatever in her cup, honey, and she gonna guzzle it down, baby. A straight alcoholic. And then they also went on to say that she's a very mean drunk, meaning when she gets drunk, she gets very catty, she gets very argumentative, like she wants to go off on any and everybody. And baby, the backup singer say one time Patti got drunk and cursed him from heaven to hell, baby. And then when he tried to say something to defend himself, Patti was like, you talking back? Oh, you talking back? You fired. And Child says she sent him home on the first train smoking. But I ain't gonna lie, even though this story supposedly came from an ex-backup singer, I just don't see an alcoholic in Patti LaBelle. And yes, I know they have functioning alcoholics, but she just seems so well put together and, I don't know, child. I just have never seen a functioning alcoholic function that well. Listen to this next rumor. So apparently Patti LaBelle was having a concert and she was singing and like she does, and she decided to hit a high note that had to use all of her power. And so she hits the high notes, she's holding it, and baby, the whole time pee just running all down her lid, child. Said that Patti LaBelle peed on herself, because of the pressure of her trying to hit that note, and she couldn't hold her bladder. Then you got the rumor about Patti LaBelle's nose job. People want to know if she did or didn't. But from what I saw, it seems like Patti LaBelle admitted that she did get a nose job, but it said that she regrets that nose job. top. I think it makes her a little bit ashamed because it takes her back to a time where she didn't accept herself. She didn't really think she was that attractive. So now I think she feels like, dang, I was pretty, I was attractive. I wish I would have believed in myself a little bit more. Then let me sprinkle some of this little messy tea on y'all, honey, because the folks say that the reason that Diana Ross probably talks about Patti behind her back is that Patti is getting it back because it's claimed that Patti had done a lot of talking behind Aretha Franklin's back. Now, it's said that Patti has always had this little riff-raff between she and Aretha Franklin because Patti blamed Aretha for Atlantic dropping her, or she blamed Aretha that Atlantic wasn't able to really give her any good music to put out and things like that. But child, the folks on the street say that Miss Patti needs to go ahead and hush up with that lie, baby, because the folks on the street say that Patti Labelle was with Atlantic at least 2 years before Aretha showed up. So her non-success or her not making it to the top at that time had nothing to do with Miss Aretha Franklin, and that Patti just needs to go ahead and count that loss as her own. Now let's get to the disturbing tea about Mr. Jackie Wilson and Patti Labelle. Now the story says that when Patti was young in like the late 60s, when I think she was actually still a bluebell, she and her group sang on the same bill as Jackie Wilson. Well, per the rumor, Patti was an admirer of Jackie Wilson, just like all of the other young girls. She did think he was hot stuff. She thought he was fly. She thought he was an amazing singer. Well, I'm guessing that Jackie Wilson was just so used to getting groupies that when he and Patti started talking backstage and she started to tell him how much she admired him and how much she loved his music, Jackie just thought that Patti was ready for it. So the folks say Patti is just talking, you know, oh, Mr. Wilson, I love your music, you're so... And child, I did that because Jackie Wilson just grabs her face and starts kissing her, putting his tongue all down her throat. It said that he smelled like a big old thing of alcohol. And so Patti is afraid for her life. So she's like, you know, no, I don't want this. Stop. Jackie ain't stopped nowhere. As a matter of fact, he becomes more aggressive, groping her everywhere and still trying to kiss her down her neck. And then one of Jackie's homeboys comes in the room with them, and it's said that he holds Patti's arms either up above her head or like grabs her behind her back, and he's kind of like yanking her into a room, a side room, where Jackie can actually full-on sexually abuse Patti. And when this happens, that is when Patti is like, no, stop, leave me alone. Like she just screams to the top of her lungs. When she opens her eyes, baby, Jackie is gone. Do you hear me? His little tail done got ghost. Child, Patti looked to the door. All she seen was that pompadour around in the corner, girl. Jackie done took off. Now, this next bit of tea is regarding Otis Williams of The Temptations. Some people don't know that Patti Labelle and Otis Williams were engaged at the time. Otis was handsome, honey, because y'all know that Otis probably couldn't sing that well. You know what I'm saying? But Otis was a good-looking man. So Patti had the brother when he was fine, honey. It said that everything was going well. She was in love with him. He was in love with her. But then, as they started getting a little bit deeper and a little bit closer to the marriage date, Otis started to talk like, you know, I'm gonna be out here handling business and you gonna be at home with the children and all this kind of stuff. And so Patti started to get a sense that this man wanted her to give up her music career so she could stay at home and be a housewife. And so Patti is like, just because ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis, don't mean ain't nobody coming to see me, because baby, I got fans. And so she eventually broke off that engagement with Otis because she could not be that housewife that he wanted her to be. Now, even though Patti did not end up marrying Otis, she did end up getting married in the year of 1969 to Armstead Edwards. And they also had a son together named Zuri. And on top of Zuri, I believe that Patti adopted like 4 more children. And one of those children is said to be actually her sister's son. And she adopted this baby after her sister passed away. And yes, Patti did love her nephew and want to take care of him. But it's said that that is not the only reason she adopted him. Patti felt a lot of guilt when it came to her sisters, because she really felt like she did not treat her sisters good. There's this one story in particular that stands out when it comes to how Patti treated or responded to her sister. And this is regarding her youngest sister, Jacqueline. So the year was 1989, and Patti Labelle's sister Jacqueline was suffering with lung cancer. Patti, of course, by this time was a world famous singer, so of course she had a lot of tours to go on and things like that. So there was one day when she had just come home from a tour and her sister Jacqueline was in the hospital. Jacqueline told an auntie who was at the hospital with her, "Oh, you know, Patti is home. Tell her to please make me one of her egg sandwiches. Please, I want one so bad." And so the auntie calls Patti and is like, "Patti, you know, Jacqueline says she wants an egg sandwich." And Patti is like, Right now, I'm tired. I just got off tour. Just tell her I'll make it tomorrow because I'm tired. Well, tomorrow comes and Patti fixes the egg sandwich and she's about to head to the hospital when she gets a phone call. It is her auntie. And her auntie tells her Jacqueline just passed away. And this really ate Patti Labelle up. It still eats her up to this day because she feels like my sister asked me to make a egg sandwich for her and I couldn't even do that. My sister passed away with me telling her no over an egg sandwich. So she tries to make up for it. But back to the original tea. In 1969, Patti marries Ormsted. And she and Ormsted stayed together for a long time. In fact, they stayed together all the way up until 2003. And it's said that their marriage started to break down because allegedly, or rumor has it, that Patti started to suspect that Ormsted was a gay or bisexual man. Over the years, it's claimed that Ormsted finally broke down and told her that he was indeed a gay man. Now that's the classy rumor. Honey, the message side said that Ormsted ain't had to tell Patti nothing because she found it with her own eyes when she caught Ormsted in the bed with her friend's son. Child, messy, honey. You hear me? But listen, child, it don't stop there because, baby, y'all know Patti got some of them same rumors out about herself. Child, the folks say that it's possible that Patti was out here doing some crunchy munchy just like Shaka Khan. Baby said that Patti will take a woman right down the town. But Patti herself has denied these rumors over and over. She has said after she divorced her husband in 2003, it was women basically throwing their panties at her, honey. They wanted to get with auntie all day long. But Patti said she had to finally tell one of them, look, I don't do fish. I ain't never did fish. So leave me alone. So, honey, I guess that woman took her and her fish and got the H out of Dodge because Patti said what she said. Now, there's one more lesbian rumor that we'll touch on in just a minute. But first, let's get into some bedroom tales, honey. Now, baby, why is folks out here saying that Patti Labelle slept with Mick Jagger? Said she threw that thing in his face and, baby, he accepted the offer. And here's the thing. If this rumor is true, there may have been somebody who was jealous about them hooking up. Because, honey, it's some story out here about Patti Labelle when she was performing at a show. And Mick Jagger and this certain someone was backstage. Well, when Patti comes off stage, she sees Mick and this other person. Patti is like, hey, Mick. She leans in and she gives him a hug. Well, to the other person, she's like, hey, girl. And she leans in to give that person a hug. And that person is like, darling, you are moist, honey. Don't be hugging up on me. Honey, they say immediately Patti's fist looked just like that, honey. Patti was ready to throw them hands because she was sitting up there embarrassed. She couldn't believe that Goku was acting like that. And yes, I called that person Goku because the person in question looks like Goku by the head. And you know that's supposed to be Tina Turner. Now, Patti supposedly has never come out with her own mouth and said the name, but the folks told me they don't care what Patti said or didn't say. The person that shaded her was Tina Turner. Now, this next bit of tea is piping hot, honey, because, baby, y'all may have known about this, but I had no idea, honey. Baby, did y'all know that they say Patti Labelle slept with Keith Sweat? Not just slept with him, was in an actual relationship with Keith Sweat. Ugh. That had me taken aback, honey. But get this, though. This gonna be some lemon in your tea. Baby, you know these folks out here is saying that Miss Patti Labelle was attracted to a Levert too. And no, honey, we are not talking about Eddie's smiling tail. They say it was Gerald Levert. Now, honey, listen, before y'all blow y'all top, let me explain this one a little bit, okay? Now, this one was not put to me as a rumor like, oh, Patti Labelle messed with Gerald Levert. That's not what this was. This was a question where somebody said, hey, didn't Patti Labelle mess around with Gerald Levert? So I just want to make it clear. But still, the whole question still blew me away, honey, because why are y'all asking about Gerald Levert and Patti LaBelle? The person could have been getting Gerald Levert mixed up with Keith Sweat because they both sang with LSG. Folks say that it was when Patti was on tour with LSG that she and Keith Sweat started bumping and grinding. So, child, let me find out Auntie was back there and had Keith Sweat one night and Gerald Levert the other night. Baby, I'ma fall on out. Now, we've already covered Otis Williams. But baby, the folks say that ain't nobody said nothing about Otis Redding. And yes, the word on the streets is that Miss Patti Labelle was in Otis Redding face too. Now, I don't know if they actually slept together or messed around with each other, but there are some tales out here about how they used to hang out tough. There's this one story about them being in the pool together. Otis Redding is out in the pool having a good time, and here come Patti looking sexy in her little swimsuit. You know what I'm saying? She's stepping down in the water with Otis Redding. And then supposedly Otis is kind of holding her, and he's walking her to the deep end, and Patti's sitting up there. I cannot believe you can pick all of me up. You better not drop me. But then while her tail was trying to be cute and trying to be flirty, it said that Otis started saying, like, for real, I'ma let you go. Patti's still like, boy, you better not let me go. Otis, I'm not playing with you. Don't let me go. And Otis Redding let her go. Baby, them folks say Patti just drowning girl, acting a fool, baby. Says she is splashing water everywhere, clawing, grabbing all over Otis, scratching him up and everything, child. About drowned the man, girl. Baby, by the time it was over, Patti and Otis almost ended up dead. So I don't know if they were actually working towards a relationship or not, but child, after that mess in the pool, Otis probably ran away from Patti's tail. Now let me tell you about Priscilla. And Priscilla is said to be Patti's alter ego. And Priscilla does not play any game. The folks say if Priscilla show up, you may as well count your doggone days, baby. Ain't no questions to be asked. Don't be looking around trying to see what's going on. Honey, just be ready to duke it out, baby. In fact, the rumor on the street says that Priscilla was the one that got Al Green right. So allegedly, Al Green and Patti Labelle were on a tour together. And I actually think that Al Green may have been the headliner or something like that. But whatever the case, one of Patti's sisters was suffering with her sickness. In fact, this sister was supposedly on her deathbed. And so Patti is getting ready to leave, and Al Green is basically like, you can't leave the show. And Patti is like, my sister is dying. She's very sick, so I need to go see her. And said Al was basically like, I don't care. You don't have permission to leave the show. You can't leave. Honey, they said that Patti did this, and then she did this. Because when she turned around, baby, they said it was Priscilla, honey. Child, the folks say that Priscilla slapped Al Green across his doggone face, choked him up in the chokehold, had him up against the wall, and was like, I slit your doggone throat. I cut your throat. And said Al Green was scared, child. Said Priscilla was gonna kill that man. And then after that, I don't know what happened, but I know Patti was able to go see her sister. Now let's get back to Patti's career for a little bit. So after Lady Marmalade, the group Labelle did record more music, but after a while, things started to break down again. And the official statement says that the girls just did not get along anymore. You know what I mean? They would always fight each other. They couldn't agree on the music. They really just couldn't stand each other anymore. And so they ended up breaking up. Well, the Messy T says something different. Honey, the Messy T is out here saying that Nona Hendrix was full-blown in love with Patti Labelle and that she couldn't have Patti. In fact, rumor has it that Nona had been telling Patti how she felt for a long time, like always trying to get with Patti. And then in 1975 or 1976, before a show backstage, Patti just straight up rejected Nona. She just let her know that, hey, this is not what it is. I don't love you in that way and I can't be with you. I don't know exactly what happened next, but I know that rumor says that Nona ran out of that room, went and shut herself in another room, and basically had a nervous breakdown and started to harm herself. And so it is when Nona tried to harm herself, that's when basically the whole group just kind of fell apart. They disbanded. Now, after Labelle did break down, it is claimed that at first Patti didn't know which direction to go in. You know what I mean? She didn't really know what to do. And then she ended up taking a year off. And then she realized, like, she was a singer. That's what she wanted to do. That is what she was put here to do. She was put here to sing. So then she started to work on her career again. And in 1977, she signed a solo contract with Epic Records. She released 4 albums with them. And then she went on to sign with Philadelphia International Records. And this is when she recorded the beautiful, beautiful Over the Rainbow. I mean, it's really something else, y'all. After Over the Rainbow, she duetted a song with Grover Washington, and this song was called The Best Is Yet to Come, in which Patti was nominated for a Grammy. But honey child, let me tell you, it was in the year 1983 honey, that Patti LaBelle recorded her breakout album. And this album was called I'm in Love Again, and it included If Only You Knew and Love, Need, and Want You. And this is really when Patti set her signature sound as a solo artist, okay? Songs like If Only You Knew definitely set the signature tone and the signature vocal ranges that Patti LaBelle had. And pretty much every song she sang after that, like she would show her full range of vocal. Honey, Patti became such hot stuff that she even appeared in a movie called The Soldier Story. And once again, just like I said in the Howard Rollins video, if y'all have not watched A Soldier Story, put your address down, and this time it's not for Patti to come slap you, it's for me to come slap you, and once again, I will still run away before y'all pull out the gun. But again, A Soldier Story was a great movie, guys. But Patti, honey, on fire, baby. She played the club singer in this movie. And of course, Patti has done even much more than this over the years. But y'all, do we do discographies? Do we do filmographies, accolades, and achievements? No, we do not. We do the scandal, child. The scandal. Let's get to a little bit more. And this next rumor is not really scandalous, but it's still pretty interesting. And child, the folks is out here saying that, baby, you better not ever let Patti LaBelle drive your car, honey. Said that if she drives your car, she will drive straight into a tree, baby. Said that Patti don't know how to drive at all. Like, she don't even like driving, I don't think, because she doesn't know how. And this next bit of tea says that Patti LaBelle has a lot of different relationships, like strong relationships with several celebrities. In fact, there's 2 women that they say she real cool with. I'm scared of them too, doggone it. Dionne Warwick and Shirley Caesar. Cause baby, you know they'll get you told too, baby. But on top of them, there's Oprah, there's Mick Jagger, like I said, and then also there is Elton John. It is said that Patti and Elton John are like super duper close. In fact, before Elton John or Patti became the superstars that they are, Patti LaBelle was said to have cooked for Elton John and his friends all the time. Like they would always come and eat up at her place when she was over in Europe working on her music. Now, even though Miss Patti is supposedly cool with a lot of celebrities, it's other celebrities that she said they need to have a doggone seat, baby. And just to give you a picture of the celebrities she's talking about, it is claimed that Patti LaBelle has a huge problem with young female singers being called divas. So y'all can kind of think up your mind about who she's possibly talking about. But it's claimed that Patti LaBelle does not like that because she said they hadn't paid their dues. She said they ain't done nothing, they ain't even been through nothing, baby. She said she been through the smoke and the fire, honey, and them little young heifers, they ain't been through nothing. But here go the scandal with that, because although Patti might hate the younger females, baby, it says she loves the younger males, honey. And this may be true because y'all know they was saying back in 2019 that she had started this relationship with this drummer named Eric Seats. And Patti, I think, was like 71 at this time, and Eric was supposedly 43. And they was asking Patti about it, like she didn't want to say what it really was or nothing like that. She was just like, oh, you know, he's just a drummer, Eric Seats. But child, the folks say that his name might as well have been Patti Seats, because Patti was sitting on that mane every night. And she must have been riding him at least sometimes, honey, because it's claimed that her son Zuri had a problem with the relationship. Said that he didn't like his mother dating that young man or younger man. Baby, Patti told Zuri to get lost, honey. Said mama gotta have a life too. But then listen at this, honey. There is rumors out here that Patti does get what she wants when she wants it, honey. It don't matter if the man is young or old. The men don't even put up a fight, honey. They be sitting up there ready to get a slice of the Patti pie. The folks on the street say you better watch out when it comes up to Patti, because you don't know what kind of mood she's gonna be in. In 2010, Patti LaBelle was in the lobby of Trump Apartments in New York. Well, I guess Patti was like tired or already in a bad mood or something like that, but all of a sudden while she's sitting there chilling, this mama comes up with this supposedly bad behind little baby. Said the baby was 18 months old. You know what I'm saying? The baby running around everywhere hollering, mama, yeah. And Patti's just looking like, you know what I mean? And the mama ain't doing nothing with the child, and Patti is like, do something with your child, man. And so with Patti doing all of this, of course, the woman is looking at Patti like, excuse me? And Patti just started going off on the woman. Like, why'd you got this little bald-headed bad baby running around here bothering folks? Get this baby away from me. And honey said the woman and her baby started to try to have some words back at Patti, honey. But before they could even say anything, said some water came and hit them in the face, child. And the mama had got hit upside the head with a plastic water bottle. Patti is ordered to pay $100,000 to this lady and her little baby. So I'm guessing Patti learned from that first incident. The incident in 2010, she learned from that. She ain't gonna ever put her hands on nobody ever again. Now she was just gonna get her entourage and her bodyguards to do it, which is what happened in 2011 when Patti Labelle was at the George Bush Intercontinental Airport in Houston, Texas. So anyways, Patti Labelle and her bodyguards were like walking outside in the rideshare area, I think it's called, and there was a West Point cadet standing there. His name is Richard King, okay? So it said that Richard King was just on his phone, and Patti Labelle and her bodyguards walked by, and I guess Patti looked back and was like, get him. Child, them bodyguards jumped on Richard King like a pack of Cujo dogs, honey. Now, according to the video evidence, it really shows that Richard King was just on his phone, and out of nowhere, Patti Labelle's bodyguards just come up on him and just start jumping him and beating him up. But per Patti and her entourage, Richard King called her a N-word when she walked by. So that's why her bodyguards jumped on him. And I'm not gonna lie, I am more inclined to believe Patti Labelle's story, because although Patti was moody and she liked to fight and all this good stuff, I just can't imagine her walking by somebody and basically being like, he's standing there looking stupid. Jump on him. I mean, what y'all think? You know what I'm saying? Because in this day and age, it's kind of hard where it's like, I don't want to blame the victim, but I cannot believe that Patti would just send these folks to jump on that boy. But anyways, regardless, it is said that Richard King filed a suit against Patti Labelle and she ended up countersuing. And I don't really know exactly what happened at the end of that. And then let's get to our very last bitty tea. And this is when James Wright got on that doggone video singing about them doggone patty pie. Come on, Patti! Oh, yeah! Doing all that kind of stuff. And so James Wright, him doing that review, did indeed make that pie fly off the shelves. So it's claimed that Patti ended up getting upset though. Like she was kind of a little mad about that, talking about I am the only reason that Patti pies is selling off the shelves. James was about to check Miss Patti and let her know that nobody really checking for your pies like that until I sat up there singing and doing all that on that doggone review. Luckily, he did not have to check Miss Patti, and instead she ended up inviting him over for Thanksgiving one year, and I'm supposing everything has been cool since then. So anyways, guys, we have finally got to the end of the Patti Labelle video. Patti Labelle is still very much a very loved diva, honey. She is still singing and blowing people out of the water. And you book readers out there, no, just to answer your question, I was not able to read the book. I didn't have time for the paperback to be sent to me. So you guys will have to tell me in the comments, if any of this stuff was in the book or if there was any more tea in the book that I missed. So anyways, like I said, this is the end of the video. I love you guys so much. I am working on another video and it will be out soon. Bye.